Hey guys, welcome back to
our Scamp Live.
I got Sarah on camera again. She's kind of reluctant. She doesn't want to be on camera. She's taking big breaths right now. I told her we're going to do this channel together, so here she is.
Being nervous, laughing a lot.
Yep, and so she turns really, really red because she's really, really pale. I'm always really, really red. This is not embarrassment. This is my natural tone. We wanted to do the 10 reasons why we decided to buy a Scamp, because a few of you were kind of asking the reasons that we chose a Scamp over other campers, other similar campers I should say, but also just over any kind of camper. We made a list. It's right here. Yeah, that's right, or right here. And it's pretty messy because it's in my writing. These are our reasons why, the 10 reasons, starting with number 10, working down to our number 1 reason why we bought a Scamp camper. Number 10, you want to
Number 10, our number 10 reason was we felt like Scamps kept their value longer.
Yeah, for sure. So they were, from what we were finding, they didn't drop in value a lot, which was a really, really good thing. And they seemed to be, you know, even starting out brand spanking new, they were cheaper than a lot of other similar sized options out there. Number 9.
Oh, ease of setup.
Is that it?
Yes.
Yeah, so how I guess I'm describing all of these now. How easy it was to set it up. And then this was kind of hers. That's why I put this in there. So you got to explain that.
Okay, yes. Another 9-point B was it's easy to clean. And what I mean by that is the countertops are all fiberglass. So when it's, you know, after we've cooked bacon in there, we just grab a disinfecting wipe, clean everything, and it's sparkly.
So super easy to clean, super easy to set up, which is really, really cool. There's not a lot to do. There's 2 jacks in the rear, which I learned, by the way, are not leveling jacks. So you do have to get, if you're looking at some pretty unlevel grounds, make sure you get something. We bought these adult Legos, right? That's kind of what they're called.
Yeah, I think they're called leveling blocks.
They look like big adult flat Legos. Everybody rants and raves over them. We got some of those because I like I said, I learned that the leveling jacks, or that the jacks in the back are just there for stability. Although we did learn at the dealer you don't, or at the Scamp factory, I guess they don't really have a dealer. You don't need those. Remember, they didn't have them down when we went and looked.
I don't remember that.
Okay. It was pretty stable, but it was a little bit bouncy without them. It's definitely worth putting them on there. But they're not for leveling, they're just for stability. So there's not much to do. So that's number 9. Number 8, this one's yours too.
Yeah, we bought it for the looks. We thought they were real cute.
That was like her exact words. When I first showed it to her, she goes, "Oh, they're so cute." That was number 8. We wanted something that looked cute and also looked kind of cool. I've always loved the look of them, well, ever since I saw them anyways. And I thought they were pretty neat, a little futuristic and retro at the same time. Number 7, we had on there how much could go wrong. That was a big worry for me because I'd been through a lot of campers, that if something went wrong with it, how easy was it to access the furnace or the water heater or whatever. And I'll tell you, a lot of campers out there, it was not very easy to access that sort of stuff. But also on top of that, how much could go wrong? And Scamp campers have been using a lot of the same stove makers and water heater and things like that for many, 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 many years. And there's not a lot of complaints out there. Of course, there are some lemons, some things that do go wrong, but Scamp's really good about replacing that sort of stuff. So I felt pretty strong about being in that. So how much can go wrong with the Scamp? In my opinion, our opinion, not much at all. Number 6, the standing height. I needed to be able to stand up in this camper. And I know that sounds silly, but we looked at quite a few different styles of campers, including teardrop campers. And obviously in a teardrop, you can't stand up in those.
And even A-frame campers, we looked at those too.
Yeah, the A-frame, you can stand up in the middle. It's basically like a tent. and that's what we were camping in, and we wanted to get away from that. So that was really, really important. And ours is a 2006 model. What happened was from 1970, was it 73 they started? Yeah, I don't know. Early 70s when they started making them, all the way up until 2005, they were using the same molds, for the same fiberglass molds for the two pieces that come together for a Scamp camper. And in 2005, the original factory actually burned down. They lost their molds. So in 2006, they decided to make them a couple inches taller. So 2006 and newer, you get a little bit more clearance in there, which in the older models, if you didn't have the air conditioner, it wasn't a big deal. I could stand up in those older ones without the air conditioner.
And you're 5'10".
Yes, I'm 5'10". I can clear underneath the, standing straight up, I can clear underneath the air conditioner and still have about an inch or inch and a half clearance. It's in our first video if you want to see exactly how much room is in there.
I'm 5'2 1/4", so it doesn't matter to me.
And that brings us to our number 5.
We wanted something with air conditioning and electric.
Which I know sounds weird. Like, of course, it's a camper, it's going to have electric. But a lot of Scamp campers, a lot of the earlier ones, people had kind of gutted them out because they were using them just as
a shell?
Yeah, kind of just as a shell. And so a lot of them, to our surprise, people said, well, this was like a hunting shack for us. So we just ran an extension cord from the generator in the woods in through the door and blah, blah, blah. We didn't want to have to do that because we were doing that with our tent, with my CPAP machine already. We really wanted to be able to just have the electricity ready to go, things like that. So number 4.
Number 4 is storage. What were we saying on that? Oh, yes, storage. We were really tired of packing up all of our belongings in a Rubbermaid container from our tent.
Yes.
So every time we went camping, we'd have to load our tent and our camping box and our cots and our sleeping bags and our pillows.
All of our
We're
cooking
getting
stuff.
Older.
Yes.
We didn't want to do that anymore.
We are like 60-year-old, 30-year-olds.
We're in our 30s, but yeah.
It just got really old really fast. So we decided, hey, you know what? It's time, and yeah. So we wanted to be able to store everything in there, and I wanted a cup of coffee that didn't have a bunch of the coffee grounds in it every morning.
Instant coffee is not that great.
And instant coffee's not great, and then doing it over the fire, it's just one more dish you really got to scrub and wash away. We were excited to be able to have enough cabinetry, and there's plenty of storage in this thing. I mean, we've got everything that we need: plates, cups, knives, bowls, spoons, forks, coffee maker, toaster, TV, yeah, there's a little TV, player, DVD player, games, vacuum cleaner, flashlights. I mean, we've got stuffed animals. Noah's got first aid kits, tools. The list goes on and on. We've got it's got tons of storage. They don't look very big, but that was what we were really impressed about. When we went to Scamp itself, to the plant, they have like 2 of each model set up, so they've got the basic version of each size, the 13, the 16, and the 19, which is the 19 foot's a 5th wheel. And then they have the deluxe version, and we walked through each one, and I was actually really surprised when we walked through the 19 foot. I know it's just a 16 foot with the 5th wheel up and over the top. It seemed much smaller than the 16, and we originally were thinking we were going to get a 13, but when we walked through that, you didn't like that one very much, did you? No. Yeah, it just didn't seem to have enough space, and the countertop space is really, really nice. Yeah. In the 16, having countertops on both sides.
Yeah, with our layout, we got lucky. I think it's layout 4 we have.
Yes, it's either layout 4 or layout 7. We kind of couldn't decide.
I just looked yesterday. I think it's 4.
She's on the ball. I'm going with the wife on that. So we've got layout 4. Layout 4, and that was number 4, which was talking about having enough storage. And we wanted to be able to store everything in there long term. So we took it out in the fall. We want to be able to put it all back in the spring, and then other than washing it when we're like on the road, after we're done using it, we just want to put it back in the cupboards and keep it there all summer long, all fall long, all of that. That was a pretty big thing for us. Number 3. Sorry, I lost my place. Number 3 is the comfort of it. we kind of touched on that a little bit. We wanted to be really, we wanted it to be more comfortable than a tent. We had been using for a long time. When we first got married, we were using a tent and we had like air mattresses. And the one, she laughs because I toss and turn. When I toss and turn, it's like one of those jumping pillows that like throws somebody off. It's hilarious. She wakes up and so yeah.
Seasick.
She'd be like, honey, stop moving. We had done a bunch of different types of air mattresses because a lot of them you'd wake up the next morning and you'd be laying on the ground anyways. We had tried really expensive ones, self-inflating ones, just all kinds of different ones. None of them seemed to work very well. So then we got the bright idea, let's do cots. Cots, that'll be comfortable. They were not comfortable, and
Not really, no.
and you can't cuddle. I know it's, that's what we like to do, and I can't sleep if I'm not laying, if we're not touching. It definitely was a huge step up. I will say that when you take the dinette down and put it into the bed, you're laying on the dinette bench cushions. It's not, it's not super plush. It's not super duper comfortable. It's way better than the tent.
It's worth it.
Yeah, it's totally worth it. And you can always add a mattress pad. I don't think that's something that we're really going to do because we're going to be putting it from the dinette so we can play games and eat and stuff back into the bed and back and forth. So we don't want to have a bunch of extra needless stuff. But as we get older, we'll probably add some sort of a mattress pad to it because we're creatures of comfort.
We're not getting any older.
No, not at all. We're not getting any older. That's a new
Yeah,
saying.
right.
Number 2 was the cost, and this really involved both of us because I wanted to buy something quality, like we talked about with the value and depreciation as number 10, and you wanted something cheap. I mean, do you want to talk about that at all, or that's it?
I don't know what else to say. That's
Okay.
about it.
Yeah, we just wanted something that fit within our budget. Our original budget was $5,000, and there are some scamps out there that run in that price, but they're either old and need some work, or they were like the 13-foot, and then they were gone instantly. These are hard enough to find at a decent value. We paid $72.50 for ours off of eBay, and there was like 22 people that were watching it, and then we bought it within like 6 minutes. I think the guy said it was within 6 minutes of posting it. We were like, oh my goodness, and we hit that. I just hit that button, to buy it now.
It was
And
kind of stressful.
it was so stressful because we didn't hear back from him for 2 hours. It was like he had no idea. It was an older guy. They kept it up really nicely, and he was like, seriously, I went out and started working in the shed. And all of a sudden, my wife's like, God, the computer's blowing up. There's emails left and right. And so all the guys that didn't get it were wondering what happened to it because all of a sudden it just disappeared. And then we were emailing, like, when can we come pick this up? Blah, blah, blah.
And we'd never bought anything on eBay before, so we were like,
Scary.
Oh, what did we just do?
Super scary. Super scary. At least nothing that big. I guess we have bought things on eBay.
Oh, yeah.
But nothing that's $7,250. Yeah, that was pretty scary, but it worked out in the end. It's, like I said, there's not a whole lot that can go wrong with them. And, we got some really honest people that really didn't use it very much. And so it was really cool. The number one thing, and this was the biggest thing for me, and really for both of us, because we knew we were going to have to spend some money, spend some savings on this camper. We did not own a pickup truck. We did not own something that had a huge towing ratio. And a lot of the campers we looked at, including most of the teardrop campers even, were pretty heavy. The number one reason why we bought our Scamp camper was the dry weight of the camper itself. And what I mean by the dry weight is that's without the battery in the front, that's without the LP tanks being full, that's without any water at all in any of the system, and no bags or anything like that. So that's kind of your dry weight. I didn't know that at first, so that's why I thought I'd tell you guys what the dry weight was. I had to ask a few times, and actually there were a few dealers that I talked with that really didn't quite know where the dry weight came from either. Yeah, awkward. We did not want to have to buy a new tow vehicle. That was the bottom line. If I'm going to spend thousands of dollars on a camper, I don't want to also have to buy a new truck just to tow it.
Right. So
the Scamp camper, the 16-foot model that we have with the side bathroom, we do not have the awning on the side of it, so I know the awning adds a little bit of weight, but we do have the extra large battery and the double LP tanks up front. That comes in at just over 1,900 pounds, I believe.
I can't remember.
I think I'm pretty sure it's either just above 1,900 or just below 2,000. But either way, it's less than 2,000 pounds dry weight, and our van can tow a total capacity of 3,500 pounds. I didn't want to come anywhere near that. I don't want to burn out the transmission. We didn't want to have to do a bunch of work, and we still wanted to use our minivan, which is a 2003 Dodge Grand Caravan with the 3.8 liter in it, if anybody's wondering. And
when we visited the Scamp factory, they told us that they deliver all of their Scamps with a Ford Ranger.
Yeah, including the 19-foot model, which really surprised me. They deliver that
cross country.
Yeah, cross country. Yeah, and they showed us the truck, and it was hooked up.
That was pretty cool.
It was pretty neat to know that. Our 16-foot model, I know the 13-foot model, I think, is right around like 12 or 1,300 pounds, so it's really super lightweight. Yeah, so the camper dry weight, we looked at a lot of campers, including pop-ups. I couldn't believe it. A lot of the pop-ups we looked at, seriously, were approaching 3,000 pounds. Right. And we're like, what?
I suppose the canvas is heavy.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that would probably be it.
And we also looked at, what were those? Silver. What?
Oh, the Quicksilver pop-ups.
Quicksilver, yeah.
That's right. Yeah, my dad actually bought one of those, and he's already selling it because it wasn't. I don't think it's exactly what they were hoping it was going to be. The Quicksilver pop-up, it seemed like a really cool thing. It was super lightweight. It was under 1,000 pounds, I think, for the 13-foot or the 10.0. But it
felt like it.
Yeah, pop-up, we figured out right away when we started looking for campers, pop-up is not what we want. No. We don't want all that extra work. And then, of course, we couldn't have anything above a certain weight. And like I said, even a lot of the teardrops we looked at, or those style of campers, we looked at, and I was really considering this, actually, one of those ice castle homes, because not because I do a lot of ice fishing, I maybe go out twice or 3 times a year, but because they're actually relatively lightweight, because a lot of them are aluminum, and then you got a little bit more versatility with it. But the options on the inside, it added up pretty quick. So anyways, so those are our top 10 reasons. Again, number 10 was depreciation. Number 9,
ease of setup.
Number 8 was the looks.
Number 7, how much could go wrong with it?
Number 6 was the standing height. Noah's getting in the camera. Noah, do you want to say what number 5 was?
We wanted AC and electric.
Number 4, we wanted to make sure we had enough storage. Number 3,
comfort. Was it going to be better than a tent?
And number 2, huh?
Cost.
Yeah, could we afford it?
Number 1, camper's dry weight.
We wanted to make sure that we could tow it with our 2003 Dodge Grand Caravan. So again, guys, he's looking in the little side screen, so if you see his eyes over that way instead of looking into the lens, you gotta look in the lens, kiddo. You gotta look into the lens. So yeah, that was the top 10 reasons why we chose the Scamp camper really over anything else. So hopefully that kind of helped you guys out a little bit. Hopefully you got an idea as to why that worked out for our family. This is a camper that really worked for our family. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to work for your family. But those are our 10 reasons. If you guys have any more questions about anything else about why we chose it, go ahead and put that down in the comment section down below. And if you liked this video and you want to see more like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Actually, what is coming up next is we're going to talk about 5 things that we would change about our Scamp camper now that we've used it a little bit. It was really hard to find 5 things. We had like 3 that we were gonna. That was it, and I was like, well, nobody does a top 3 list. So we had to scrimp and scrape to come up with 5 things, but we did come up with 5 things that we would change about the Scamp. That's going to be in the next video. So thanks, guys. God bless. So this is our dog, Banks. I realized we didn't introduce him. Banks, what are you doing? Where's my puppy? Yeah, that's our dog, Banks. Good boy. Oh, yeah, you're going to say hi to the camera? Say hello. Yeah. That's our 4th member of our family.